Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah Van Sliders with Old Man Gaming, and with me as always is
Logan, aka Knight645.
And this is another Horrible Gaming Podcast, episode 6. We've managed to put 6 of these crap shows together, and we're going to start at the same place we always do, which is disclaimers. We are not professionals. You might hear me, my kid in the background, or some weird pause. You might hear Logan doing the Cupid shuffle in the background. Either way, we're not going to go back and edit this because we do not get money for this. All right, so top of the order, fan interaction. This segment is actually getting some traction with our people. And basically, this is what we do. We ask a question to you guys, the fans, to comment on YouTube or Facebook your feelings on it. Usually it's just a quick question. You can answer it quickly. You can answer it in depth, whatever you want. And this one is a simple one. I want to know your favorite game. Is it your favorite game right now? Is it your favorite game of all time? Is it your favorite game of past and present? Is it whatever? Your favorite game and why? That's what I want to know, fans. And we'll do that next week on the show. This week, however, we are answering the questions from last week, which was, I wanted your war stories, your big, bad stories of gaming. And I actually got a couple of responses on this one. And first, it's our ever-faithful friend, Phil Billy. His battle story is funny because it actually involves me. Zach, his brother, my brother, who also did our theme song, and myself used to have a racing challenge in Forza Horizon 3 once a week, where we would take turns creating a multi-race circuit and then building cars specific for that. One particular week, I built a Chevy creeper van complete with a free candy for kids paint job. And then he spanked the both of us and I was running an Aston Martin, and my brother was running a Lamborghini S. And this is 100% true. And I actually responded to him on the thing, and I'll say it again. I think I was at a disadvantage because I was laughing so goddamn hard because he did not tell us about the Chevy van. He just was like really happy about the next pick, and we get in there and you can do custom paint jobs too. He put like a unicorn and an ice cream cone on the side, and all it said was like, he said it was free kids for candy, but I swear on one side it said do you like candy ? And it was just the funniest thing. I was laughing so hard at this the entire time that this went on. It was kind of crazy. So, all right. So next one is our other most faithful viewer, I think, or responder, Zelen S. You guys know him better as a Tiny Wizard from the first episode's question. His battle.
Tiny Wizard is back.
Yes, Tiny Wizard is back. He answered this one, and his one is relatively huge. So here we go. My battle story. Back in about 2010, I was playing Mario and Luigi, partners in time, and I was at the end and a bit underleveled for the final boss. Now, I don't know anything about that game, but I'm guessing it's RPG style then. Not caring whatsoever, I proceeded with the fight. With good reaction timing, I was able to avoid taking damage, however, could only deal about 20 damage in turn, and the boss had 3,000 HP. Needless to say, it took a while. So long, in fact, that it took me 2 nights of playing to beat it. Given the situation, I had to leave my DS plugged in so the battery wouldn't die. I'd just play until I couldn't stay awake, close the system, keep chipping away the next night. The real kicker, the boss still had one more phase left with 3,500 HP. Took me 2 more nights of playing before I could actually beat it. truthfully, after that, I don't let anyone tell me that anything is possible. Ha ha. I think that is amazing, dude. That guy, he was devoted. I would have turned the fucking thing off.
Oh, yeah. I would have turned it off. I would have been done.
Because I've had fights in games that are just going on, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, and I would have quit. That is real devotion. Real devotion to defeating the final boss. Alright, so I'm going to do one next. My next one is old school. It's retro style. And I was actually reminded of this by a tiny wizard. And back when I was a very young kid with a Nintendo, the first ever Nintendo Entertainment System, me and my brother would rent games when that was still a thing. And we rented a game. You'd rent a game after school on Friday. You'd play it until Sunday. You'd take it back. And then you'd be gameless until the next weekend. That's usually how it went when you were kids with video game systems back in like the 80s and 90s. Me and my brother rented a game called Rampage, the first Rampage. Are you aware of Rampage, Logan? Other than the Rock movie?
Okay, since we love weird awkward pauses, but I have played Rampage. I played it on like the arcade system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you know what it is. It's the two monsters destroying buildings.
Yep.
Well, the original Nintendo game had you destroying a building. It had a level for basically like it had like multiple levels for every 52 state, every one of the 52 states in America. Like, I mean, it was like 3 or 4 stages per one, right? So this game was just forever. It wasn't particularly difficult. It just kept going. My brother would play the lizard. I would play the monkey. And we would basically on Friday, we got it. We started playing it until we couldn't play it anymore. Then we paused it and just left it paused, hoping that nobody bumped that Nintendo Entertainment System. Then came back to it Saturday, and we just did that for the entire weekend, and we ended up beating the original Rampage, which I don't know how many people can actually claim to fame. And you know what you get because it's old school Nintendo when you beat it? The map is full finally of all the destroyed places, and here's what happens. In big letters, it says, "Congratulations!" and the game just ends. It's like, hey, fuck you, bro.
Of course it does.
Yeah, it's old school Nintendo.
Course.
At least it's better than the way frickin' Zelda and Mario would end. My brother, I remember he took forever to actually beat the original, like, Mario, the original 100 levels or whatever, and get the queen. The game restarts harder. My brother, like, I remember he was, like, I think, like, 11 or 12, and just, like, I don't think he ever went back to Mario again. Like, he was like, no, never again. Never will I do this again.
Well, Zach, I have an amazing war story for you, okay?
I'm excited.
This involves my buddy Ash.
Okay.
So
Does he listen to the show, or is he lazy and doesn't?
Oh, no, he listens to the show.
Oh, I shouldn't have called him lazy then. Shit. It's going downhill from here.
He's been trying to listen to the show, except for he's been using his school email, and since school's back, they cut off his old email, so it doesn't work anymore. So he was confused about why YouTube wasn't working. That's why.
It's all right. I've got a friend that I've known since like elementary school. He still hasn't listened, so that's totally fine. But go ahead with your war story.
So it was 7th grade, and me and Ash got DSs again to play some Pokemon. I think it was like Diamond and Pearl, and we both got it, and we both got the opposite one. So the second that we got it, since we got it at the same time, we were trying to be better than the other one the entire time. So, I kid you not, Zach, for about 2 weeks straight, I just grinded that game. And he just grinded that game, and that was it. Like, just sat there and did this for hours. Like, you'd go to school, you do it on the way to school, on the bus, get off, do it on the way back home, do it while you're walking home. That's it.
I love how you guys need competitive multiplayer so bad that if the game doesn't have it, you just make it happen.
Oh, I know. It was that type of deal.
Like, we can't fight each other? Okay, I'll beat it before you then.
No. You could battle in that game.
Oh, okay. All right.
You could go head to head. So we did that for like 2 weeks straight, and it was crazy how competitive we got over this. And
I've seen how competitive you guys get. I've played with both of you online, so I have an idea of this.
And then Ashton's dog ate his game. He was so mad.
Dude,
so
you should have
mad.
immediately declared victory. Like, and
Oh, I
just
did.
like...
Oh, yeah, I won. Low-key, what
Should
he
have trained
doesn't
your dog
know-
better, bitch.
What he doesn't know is that I paid the dog to do it.
That's a good dog. What he doesn't know is I covered it in peanut butter and meat. I win at all costs.
Sometimes you gotta take ruthless angles.
That's good stuff.
So Zach, I've heard that you have one more war story.
I am going to cheat on this one. I have one more war story, and it is
All right.
It is a game that I didn't even finish, but it's one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me in a game, and it's Shadows of Mordor. Okay, so like anybody who hasn't played the game, it's like Lord of the Rings, but the whole premise of it is you're a character in like the Mordor place where all the orcs are. And,
I know where this is going.
Because I think I told you this one already.
Yep.
Basically, what you need to do, it procedurally generates all these orcs in all these different areas and their generals, and you have to, once you get to a certain point in the game, you have to slowly like dominate and or kill them to slowly take over the area and build your own army, and then you get to command them in different ways. It's very cool on that front. Now. The coolest thing about it, though, is this, like, all the characters that are procedurally generate remember everything, and they hate you more and more, and it's called the Nemesis system. They'll end up starting to come after you. So, I want to tell you a story about Oog, okay? Oog is this orc. Now, one of the other cool things is there's just constant orcs that aren't generals that are just, like, nobodies through the game. Now, if one of them manages to like get the kill shot on you when you're fighting a ton of them, that one immediately gets promoted and procedurally generated into some sort of higher end general. So that's where our story starts. Oog is just a low level nothing. He ends up getting me while I'm fighting another boss. He gets promoted, right? So I'm pissed. So I go after Oog. I go after and I fight Oog. Now, I fight Oog, and I decide to take... wait, hold on. I want to get this right. I want to get it in the right order. I decide to... when you beat one of these generals, you get 3 choices, and that's you can fight them to the death, you can shame them, which means you can't turn them to your side unless they're a lower level than you, and shame reduces their level, but it also like runs the risk of like making them totally crazy or completely changing how they act with the world around them. And then the other one is, of course, dominate them, which is turn them to you. So I hunt Oog down and I turn him to me, right? So now he's mine, and I install him as this spy for one of the bigger generals. So I go after the bigger general. Oog does his job. He stabs the guy. We end up taking him down together. It's great. I'm starting to really like Oog. So what can you do in this game? You can also make these orcs your personal bodyguard. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to promote Oog. I'm going to give him a contingent of like nobody hunter orcs, and I'm going to make him my personal bodyguard. So whenever I'm in a fight, I can summon him. He'll show up with his hunters and help me fight something else. So then I go after another general. I summon Oog. He shows up with his hunters and tells me to go F myself, betrays me, and tries to kill me. I somehow survive the fight. I kill the other general. I grab Oog. I'm so pissed. I shame him. I don't even need to shame him. I just shame him because I'm mad. So he gets crazy now, but he runs off. So then I go off, I do some other stuff. Oog shows up, kills me a couple of times. So now I'm pissed. I go after Oog. I'm like, all right, I conquer the entire region other than Oog. And I'm like, he's my last thing. I gotta take this dude down before I go anywhere else. I go back after Oog. I find Oog. I fight him. He kills me. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is the middle of the night. All I want to do is kill this orc one last time. I'm like, and when the orcs kill you, they gain levels, so it becomes even stronger. So I'm like, all right, fine, we're doing this again. I go after Oog again. I fight him. I almost beat him. He gets away. I'm like, what do I have to do to kill this guy? Finally, I go after him a third time. It takes one of those giant monsters biting on his feet. I end up hitting a crate, and I still don't even get the kill. My current bodyguard, the one who wouldn't betray me, I'm fighting him down. I can't quite get the kill. He runs in and bashes his frickin' head in, finally ending the back and forth between me and Oog. And I have just never experienced... I think it's the reason I don't play that game anymore, because the Oog thing was the end for me. That was the final battle. Just this huge interweaving storyline between me and this orc. I've just never had that happen to me in a game. I don't think I'll ever have that happen to me again, which it was a lot of fun for me.
That was legendary.
Okay, so for the first time ever, we have a little bit of news that probably some people haven't heard about. Although by the time this is up, everybody has, I'm sure. But I wanted to just sneak it into this podcast, and that is CD Projekt Red. They made all the Witcher games. They're making the Cyberpunk 2077 game. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows about it. But today, it was announced that it is getting a multiplayer section.
I don't know if that game's made for multiplayer.
That's what's kind of blowing my mind. I mean, they've never done a multiplayer before. There's no multiplayer in any of the Witcher games. And this is a huge RPG type setting. Yeah. They've said that the multiplayer won't be for a while. They're gonna release the campaign will come out in April, and then they've even got DLCs planned before the multiplayer gets implemented. So no one has any details on what that could look like or what it's gonna be. There's a lot of speculation. Some people think it's gonna be a battle royale. Some people think it's gonna be death matches, lobbies, and stuff like that. Other people think that they want to just kind of slowly turn it into almost like a Destiny MMO where you get to play with other people in your world, that sort of thing. What would you want to you're interested in this game, everybody's interested in this game.
Yeah.
The whole freaking world's interested in the game. What would you want to see out of a multiplayer for this? I mean, we're getting one. What would you want to see?
I'd way rather see a Destiny type of deal. I couldn't see it becoming a battle royale, not even a little bit. With the whole deathmatch thing, it definitely could. I'm not saying it won't, but I would see more of a Destiny type of deal.
Well, and really the question would be, if you're doing a deathmatch or a battle royale, I don't think you're able to do you taking your character in, because that's not fair. You can't do level, you know what I mean? You can't do level instancing in a versus setting.
Yeah.
So you got to baseline people, especially with a battle royale. Like everybody's got to be baseline. So I don't know that those really fit. Personally, I'd like to just see I don't even need anything big, but I would love to be able to play it like a Borderlands, honestly, where it's just 1 to 4 player co-op. And
that wouldn't be bad.
You know what? You go into the world, you interact with the world together, and then they bounce out. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. That would be okay with me. I'd be totally okay with that. But it definitely doesn't look like a game that's made in any way, shape, or form to have multiplayer. So the fact that they're announcing it is, I almost feel like it's a knee-jerk reaction and possibly a mistake, because they don't have it in April. They're still hiring people for it. I feel like maybe they read something online that says that they should have it and they're reacting a little bit too much. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that. They should really stick to what works.
I mean, right? It's what they do. Is single-player narrative. I'm not saying that they can't do something else, but I think it just ties into the world needing, like, games as service becoming a bigger and bigger thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I just wanted to get that out there on the show and get your reaction to it. So, with that said...
Well, Zach, since I know how much you love Monster Hunter, and I know that there was a huge DLC that was basically just a second game, is based on my knowledge, but I have not gotten the chance to play the beta. So how was Iceborne for you? Have you tried it?
All right, so I definitely tried it. I had the beta downloaded before I could even get into it. I couldn't wait to play the beta. And the beta is basically, I actually have a Let's Play right now on the same channel of me playing the beta for a little bit and just getting the ever-loving piss stomped out of me by a monster. But basically what it is it's what everybody got to play as far as like E3 demos and stuff like that. And it's a very bare bones, like you don't even get to go in with the character you had. You make kind of like a temporary character, and then you go in and you get to choose like 4 different monsters to fight, and the timers are incredibly low. I do wish they had made the timers a little bit longer so that we could really get into these fights, but of course I understand why they didn't, because you're hunting in a world that they don't necessarily want you to see all of yet, so they want you like running around the world just exploring for your time instead of like going to fight the monster. That's what they want. So as far as it is though, my first impressions are amazing. I know that IGN released a review on it today, even though it doesn't come out till Friday, and they gave it a 9, which is pretty amazing. From what I'm played of it so far, the quality of life stuff that they've done to it is amazing. They made movement a little bit easier. They gave each weapon something new, something to reinvigorate it. And it's like a full sequel on top of the game, just in the game itself. And I would love to see that happen more in games. One thing about Monster Hunter that I kind of strayed away from a little bit is the fact that all the DLC monsters after the initial game came out were stupid crossover stuff. I'm sorry, everybody out there who loves to fight crap from Final Fantasy. I don't. I just want the monsters from Monster Hunter in this game, and we just kept getting weird crossovers with The Witcher and weird crossovers with Final Fantasy, and it's like, I don't want to fight any of these things. I want to fight new creatures. The only 2 new ones that we actually got from Monster Hunter World were Devil Joe and Lunestra, both incredibly interesting fights. Cool that they added them, but I feel like almost instead of giving us incremental downloads, they just decided to basically make the sequel, like combine them all and just give it to us all at once in this Iceborne thing. There's tons of monsters coming out in it, tons of added stuff to do, and I'm very excited to play it. But as far as the beta goes, just so that everybody knows, it's going on right now. Most likely it will be ending right around the time this podcast goes up, but you might still have a couple of hours because it is going through the 2nd to the 5th. So that's
and even if it sounds like it, we are not sponsored by them. We are not obligated to say these things.
Yeah, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish if I was sponsored by them, I would be 100% honest about it, because it'd be the coolest fucking thing ever. Like, if Capcom decided to call us and be like, "You want to sponsor Monster Hunter World?" We'd be like, "Yep, yes." But yeah, we're not sponsored by them. I do really love this game. It always brings me back, even when I'm bad at it. I love finding ways to beat these monsters, and it's just such a cool gameplay loop. And the fact that they just added to what's already awesome instead of changing anything is exciting to me. It really is. The Clutch Claw, Logan, the Clutch Claw is amazing. I know you haven't tried the beta. I know you're really into PUBG right now. If I were you, I would download it and play it just once to try the Clutch Claw, because it is so much fun. Basically, I know you tried Monster Hunter World for a very small period of time. It wasn't your bag and you walked away, which is totally fair. But you remember the whole slinger thing, right? On your wrist where you could shoot stuff. Well, now you have this gadget that basically like it's like you can Spider-Man onto a monster. Like you can just aim it at the monster, shoot it at the monster's face, and it just drags you to the monster's face, and you can just jam your weapon into their face.
Grappling hook.
Yes. What's even cooler about this clutch claw is like, because it's not really mounting the monster. There is a mounting in the monster where you like jump onto them and do an attack, and then you like stab them a bunch of times and they get stunned. With, are you giggling because I said the word mount? You are, aren't you? Oh my god. This is what I get for doing a podcast with a freaking 18 and a half year old or whatever. Okay. All right. It's all right. My wife would giggle at that. So, but it'll take you to this body part, and when you hit that body part, it weakens the How are you giggling at body part?
Okay.
What is happening in the world?
Yeah,
What can I say in this section that you are not going to giggle at this point?
It wouldn't have been funny if you didn't, like, shout out the mount part. You're like, mount, and then you're like, and then when you go to this distinctive body part, I'm like, okay, wait.
Okay. All right. Well, in any case, when you get on it and you attack them, that area is more wounded, so you can continue to. Your party can hit it. You can hit it. It'll do higher points of damage because you like weaken the armor. You can also use that specific type of the clutch claw attachment to actually redirect the monsters to make them like run into explosive barrels or traps or stuff, which is it's just so cool. Just so cool. So I'm really excited to play this. Really excited. I'm sorry I'm so excited that it sounds like somebody paid us off, but I am extremely excited to play this. All right, our next topic. I wanted to just, there's not a whole lot of other news or anything, so I wanted to talk about influential games throughout history and as well as the games that influenced us as gamers. So Logan, hit me. What you got?
Games that influenced the culture of games, there's a lot of big ones. Well, PUBG, even back in the day, we had H1Z1, which really started like the battle royale genre.
Yeah.
We had Call of Duty, which was a huge factor in just a lot of games in general.
I hate to admit it, but that's true.
It was huge.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Well, on the competitive front, it was giant because I don't think games were ever really thought. I know that League of Legends like really kicked it into overdrive, but I think that that Call of Duty was really the beginning of esports as a thing.
Yep.
As the ability to be professional at it, I personally think.
And there was obviously Halo. Halo was huge, and Halo's been huge throughout history.
This is true. And in fairness, they've had tournaments for Halo since Halo came out. Like actual tournaments that you can make money at too.
Exactly. And obviously, I can't forget about it. I can't be sleeping on it. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has been huge.
You know, what's crazy is, as silly as a game as I think it is, and I'm sure I'm going to get some hate for that, but I never got into the really overdrawn fatalities. Like, I don't understand why we can't just, like, knock each other's heads off, why we have to, like, pull their intestines out and, like, wrap their neck in it and then, like, make a puppy eat their face. Like, I don't understand why we have to do all that now. Like, I guess you got to beat yourself, but whatever. But, I mean, you look at, like, Mortal Kombat is one of the big reasons the ESRB exists. Mortal Kombat is one of the big first fighting games ever to come out. You know, it was that and Street Fighter. And then Mortal Kombat is probably the biggest, like, the best balanced fighting game for contests.
Brutality.
Yeah, I know. What's a brutality in Mortal Kombat? Like, jeez, I don't want to see that. Like, just fatality's fine. Fatality. Awesome. He's gonna take his ribs and then put it in the dude's eyes and then like pull his face out through his butt. Like, no, I'm good. Jesus, just cut their heads off. Like, why, man? I always watch those fatalities and I'm just like, like halfway through, I'm like, he's dead. Just go eat an ice cream cone or something. Like, stop, man. Jesus. This is like
He's dead within the first 2 seconds.
I'm not tenderizing meat this long, man. Just walk away. Like, Jesus. But yeah, Mortal Kombat. So what influenced you as a gamer?
What influenced me as a gamer?
What gets you into gaming?
First game, I played a lot on like the DS and stuff when I was young.
Right.
But when I want to say what brought me into actual gaming is World at War, Call of Duty World at War Zombies.
Okay.
It was the first console video game I've ever played, and I just fell in love with it instantly.
Man, I am so fucking old. The first console video game you ever played was Call of Duty World at War?
First console video game I've ever played was Call of Duty
I'm gonna have to
go.
This will be our last podcast because I'm gonna walk into the street and let a truck hit me. Jesus Christ.
This is why it's so great. This is why it's so great.
Oh my God. That's exquisite. Joking aside, it's really interesting to see like what it's like, the generation that grew up with video games. Like video games like grew up with me, but the generations past me like get to just like be slopped into video games. What's really interesting too, my kid, she's only 3, she shows no interest in video games whatsoever. And that's interesting to me because I couldn't think of a cooler thing. Especially the games now don't even look like games. They're just so amazing. I don't know, but still. Okay, so Call of Duty World of War is your first game. What's the one that like? I mean, you're in the battle royales. Let's face it. Like you're the battle royale guy. So what was the one that was like? I'm all in on this genre.
PUBG. PUBG, when it first came out for console, I don't know if you've ever played it. It was the ugliest game.
It was, dude.
It was so
I pre-ordered
bad.
it on console because I wanted it so bad.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
in that boat. I got it from GameStop in that stupid box they sold it in that just had a code in it. That's what I got, that collector's edition box. Like that's how bad I wanted it, and that game was near impossible to play when it first came out for console. Oof.
Oh no, it was so bad. Every single time, if you went in with the squad, at least 2 of you are being kicked from the match, and then like luckily you can join back in, but it takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something or like in a fight, you're dead.
You know what? I'm gonna say kick me all day long. I'm not gonna mind. Rubber banding drives me nuts.
Yes.
I would take anything over rubber banding. That game was insane. Just for anybody listening to this who isn't an avid gamer, rubber banding is when the game is moving faster than it can actually move. And so what happens is your guy will run like up a hill, and then all of a sudden he'll be down the hill again. And then you'll run up the hill, and he'll be down the hill, but just a little bit farther up. And then he'll run up the hill, and then he'll go. That's what rubber banding is. It is mind-numbingly irritating. And every game, I remember every game when I first got it, I never had a squad. Like, Logan, you're the closest thing to a squad I've ever had. I'm usually a lone wolf guy.
I'm your squad buddy.
Brother in arms.
Brother in arms.
But I would go into that game and just the minute you'd start, because there's the battle royale is 100 people, slowly whittles people down. Until it was like down under 70, it was just rubber band city. Like everybody was rubber banding until like the first 30 people were dead, and then it started to balance out if you weren't kicked. It was a freaking nightmare.
It was a terrible game, and it shouldn't have come out for console when it did. But I just remember getting the news that a game is gonna come out. And there's 100 people dropping in, and only one makes it out.
One survivor. Yep.
And the thing was, it was one of the Hunger Games movies. Just came out like a month prior to that, so I was already like, yes, on one survivor. So I was like, okay.
I will be tribute. Yes. Yes.
So, like, once I heard it, I pre-ordered that thing like 5 months early.
Oh man, it was cheaper. I'll say that. I was happy with the cheapness, and
Yeah, same.
I was also happy that they honored that buy through all their updates, even when they went to an actual release as well. I was very happy with that.
Exactly.
I will say, I even with all the rubber banding, I enjoyed it quite a bit when it came out, and I still go back to it every once in a while. I'm probably going to go back to it a little bit more because my brother in arms has decided to return to the place from whence
Yes.
he came. But I do. PUBG is a really really interesting game, and I actually followed that leading up to its release by watching it on Mixer, because that's if I want a game, I'll go to Mixer and just watch other people playing it. Like, it's better than any trailer that you could watch. Like, that's what I use streaming for. Like, it's better than any trailer you could watch. Just watch somebody else play the game, and you'll know if you want to play it or not. Like, within like 15 minutes. But
Exactly.
But yeah, PUBG was one that it was just out of my wheelhouse. But I was like, I have to try this. I have to try this. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but before then, I didn't like any other battle royale. Like, there wasn't really battle royale out before then.
No.
Give it that.
I mean,
especially for console.
That especially for console, because Fortnite's battle royale didn't release until after PUBG's.
Yep.
And then of course we all live in a post Fortnite world. We know what happened next. I think that I think that the genre is. I will say I think PUBG Corp, formerly Blue Hole, got a little overreactionary when other people started to like make battle royales, but yeah, PUBG's the first.
It's OG.
It is, and I like it because it brings a little bit more realism to it.
Love it. So, Zach, what games have influenced you in your life?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I've got a couple, and my interests in gaming has like completely changed over the many years I have existed on this planet.
Many moons.
The thing that I was all into when I was a kid was a shorter narrative driven game I loved. The games that I'll say that I absolutely worshipped, I would play through and then start over is Max Payne 1 and 2, and then the first 3 Prince of Persia's, Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and then the Two Thrones. Just a beautiful story start to finish. But then as I got older, I got to this point, especially with like, you start having to pay bills and you start having a job and you start realizing that like a game that you can play for 2 hours with a good story just doesn't last as long as some of these bigger ones. So I'm going to say the biggest influence on my gaming today is Skyrim. It's Skyrim, because Skyrim was the first one. I would have never bought Skyrim before Skyrim, but it was just, I had decided, like, somebody had said there's 500 plus hours of game in this, and I was like, that's what I want. I want to be able to pay $60, and I want a game that anytime I want to be in this world, I can find something new to do. And still to this day, I pick up Skyrim and I find something new to do. So it's Skyrim, and now all my games are like that. They're huge open world things that like I buy, and I'm not gonna finish them. I don't plan on finishing them. I don't want to finish them. I want to go in every so often and then play something new and interesting and do something different, and then move on to the next thing. Get my worth out of the money that I spend on video games. So it's got to be Skyrim. I'd love to say something else. I mean, there are plenty of great games that I love too. Borderlands. I refuse to trade in any of my old copies because they're so close to my heart. So I'm very excited for Borderlands 3. Now Monster Hunter World, which I've actually purchased twice. I love that game so much. Because I purchased the original game, I ended up trading it in, then it came to Games Pass, I loved it, I got back into it, started loving it again, and then they announced Iceborne, and now I'm like, I'm going to buy it with Iceborne, and it's just going to be, I'm never going to trade it in, it's my game forever. So yeah, I mean, I love games like No Man's Sky is another one that's just absolutely beautifully open, and you could just do anything you want. I love games with player choice where I can just tell my own story. You know, another one that's amazing. This isn't influential. I just want to give it a nod because we're talking about it. State of Decay 2 is worth trying for anybody who has Games Pass. Try it. It's bug free now. It's absolutely glorious. And basically what it is it's procedurally generated characters, and you just have to try and survive a zombie apocalypse. It's very simple. It's just a playground to play in, and that's what I want. I want to just go in with my own story and come out with my own story.
Again, not sponsored.
Am I selling stuff too much? Is that what's happening? Oh, no. Now I feel like I'm too
you sold me
much.
that game, but if you are, you pretty much sold me.
Well, it's not a perfect game. It really isn't. It's very simple and straightforward, but I just love the fact that even the coolest thing is when you do survive, get to the end with one of your communities, you restart another community. You can use any of the characters that have survived the zombie apocalypse. Like anytime you restart the game, it remembers all your characters that have ever restarted and their stats and stuff. So like you can then go to another city and do it again with a character that you love. That kind of stuff just gets me every time, where I can just go in and make a story every time I play it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, so that brings us to the part we always get excited about, which is the Fantasy Corner. And this week's Fantasy Corner question is, you get to make a fighting game out of a property that probably isn't already a fighting game. What's that fighting game? What is it? Where does it come from? And what does it look like? So, Logan, take it away.
Well, I came up with something, and it's just streamers that can fight. It's just like Mortal Kombat type of deal, but they're streamers.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And
oh my god,
like
that's amazing.
The top streamers, because if I could watch Shroud versus Dr. Disrespect, that would be the funniest. That'd be the funniest thing ever.
Oh my god, that would be great. I am so mad I let you go first now. I am so mad I can't follow this for anything. There's no way I can follow it.
I told you that I would let you go first too.
Oh, I know. That was a mistake. That was a tactical mistake on my
end. It would have their catchphrases. It has to have a ton of their catchphrases. It has to have it.
That would be absolutely amazing. You could do a YouTube personality one too. You could get like fucking Dan Bull up there, and he just raps at people really hard as like a special maneuver. Oh, that is so good.
We're not just talking streamers now. We're talking like
the whole
we'll throw DLCs of famous people in there. Like,
any internet personality. I want Ninja Sex Party playing playing crazy rock sex ballads at people. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's phenomenal. We just need to make this game. I need to win the lottery so we can make this game, because this PewDiePie.
This has to be a thing.
This has to be a thing. And then Ninja. And Ninja's special ability should be he just throws money at people. Just like he shreds them with like a river of money.
Oh my god, his fatality would be he just like drinks a Red Bull and
his winning pose is his like hot model wife that only loves him because he's popular runs out and kisses him.
He doesn't even do it. He just drinks a Red Bull and then the other guy just falls over and it's his fatality. That's it.
He should just like be like, I'm Ninja, and then they fall over.
Oh my god, yes. This would be so great.
Oh my god.
This needs to happen.
Oh man, there's no way I'm following this. I don't think I want to say mine now. I think I might just keep them to myself, because this is so much better.
This needs to happen.
It just blew me out of the... You just made Fantasy Quarter competitive and won in one foul stroke. Right. I cannot possibly top or match that at all. I was going to say...
It's competitive, I don't joke.
I was going to say a Monster Hunter game where you play the monsters and you fight other monsters.
Oh, that'd be pretty dope. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie,
it's
that'd
nothing
be pretty
compared to
dope,
what you
though.
just said. It's bullshit compared to what you just said. The other one, I had a second one where I was going to do Borderlands because they're all very defined characters with powers. I thought that'd be cool. But still, that's a fucking joke to what you just said. It's fucking nothing, man. Get everybody from Dan Bull's Fortnite Battle Royale rap video, that 100 streamers he got, get them in there. You're good. You're done. Oh,
Give
man.
me money. Companies,
Give me
give
money.
me money. Listen
Give
to
me
this.
money. Give me money right now. We need to kickstart this shit, like, immediately.
Just throw money at me. I'll make double your profits, guaranteed.
That's great. That's absolutely priceless. All right. Well, I'm not even going to try and top that. We're going to definitely end the show on that bit of highness right there. So, this has been a Horrible Gaming Podcast. Now, I just want to throw out a couple of credits. My brother, Nick Van Sliders, did the opening theme song that you heard with all of its awesomeness. And my buddy, Mark Bell, also friend of the show, did the banner that you saw at the very beginning if you're watching it. The one with both... he does all my banners. Anything that wasn't a picture that looks like we made it, he did it. So, thanks to Mark Bell for that. And then that brings us to the end. Plugs, Logan. Yeah, you got any plugs for us?
Well, I just dropped a new PUBG video
Holy moly!
on my YouTube. Knights Space 645. I actually dropped one.
Woo!
And sometime this week will be another Brawlhalla video, as Zach requested, and it's fantastic.
I think Brawlhalla is so much fun to watch. As much fun to watch as it is to play. So I'm kind of excited for that one. And I'm glad that you're doing a video that isn't just realm based too. That's nice. As far as me, you can of course check out everything Old Man Gaming has to offer. I did just do a 20-some minute Let's Play where I get the ever-loving hell beat out of me by a Tigrex for the first time in the beta. I also did a review on The Bard's Tale 4, Barrows Deep, another Games Pass game, which was surprisingly fun. So I urge you guys to go check those out. And of course, you can see any back episodes of this as well on this channel. And as long as you guys keep viewing, watching, listening to these, we will keep endeavoring to make them. So
We love you guys.
we do. We love everybody who listens to us, no matter how small and how big. And big shout out to anybody who participates in the questions. Thank you so much for helping and supporting this. We're actually up to 30 likes on Facebook as well, and 36 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you, everybody. Keep sharing and subscribing, and keep coming back to this shit show of a podcast. See you guys next time.